by Propel. Like I'm already
are
having
you?
sponsorship. Yeah, bro.
Most impactful guest on Scottie and Friends we've ever had.
Yeah, bro.
My
Propel.
brother, bro.
Propel gang over here.
For real?
Yeah, man. They're the reason why we have the WalkGood yard. Is because of Propel. Propel and Michael B. Jordan.
Oh yeah, I seen that moment that you had. That was dope.
Yeah.
How do you even put yourself in front of like a Propel or a Michael B. Jordan? Like, how have you amassed what you've done? Which is, it's so disrespectful to say. I feel like I don't even know when I came across the brand, but I feel like I came across it and then it just like.
I don't even remember. I remember seeing your page, Suburban LA. I was like, yo, this is real LA.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really, really proud of what you've built, bro.
I appreciate it.
Like, I think when I think of just like local Los Angeles, like you're the source.
Yeah.
And it's really, really dope to see, the community that you've built too. And LA needs it.
Yeah.
A lot of people who aren't from LA are trying to, take over the culture, but you're like, nah, we're not gonna let that happen. We're not gonna let that happen.
No.
Bro, I feel so bad. I was on a panel over the weekend, and they started the panel asking a question about. And I was a bit of a jackass. I was like, yeah, well, because I'm the only person on this panel that's from LA. I might as well start this conversation.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. My wife was like, why did you say that? I'm like, yeah, because these people need to know.
Yeah.
These people need to know. Check in. This real LA over here.
That's, okay, to that, right? I was able to go to Morehouse.
That was a surprise to me.
Yeah, when'd you find out?
When you told me at the front premiere. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, bro.
You need to talk about that.
I need to talk. Okay, this is even a whole thing let's just get into it because I feel like I built this platform, right? But I've done a poor job at really showcasing who I am, how dynamic I am, and just more what the brand is. Because again, like we have our blog, we have newsletters. Obviously, we're in our podcasting space. We've thrown events. We need to get back and double up with events, our products that we have. And I feel like, and one of my enemies, and I use it for fuel, is like when people be like, yo, I know the page. Because in my mind, I'm like, I got to prove to you that this is bigger than just a page. Right. But I say that to say, I feel like you've done a great job at taking the brand off paper or off social and, on social.
IRL.
Yes. How? Tell me how.
So WalkGood LA was born during the social justice movement of Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and I'll be honest. I went to Keep It 100's Miles for Justice. It was like their protest that Butter, shout out to Butter, he did, and at that time it was like during COVID 5 years ago, and I know it's crazy to say, and I was like, no, I could do this too. They did it out in Crenshaw, and there were a lot of protests happening, like over in Hollywood, but there were no protests that were happening in Mid-City where I'm from. And I was like, well, that's like where everybody has to pass through Olympic, to go south, north, east, west.
Yeah.
And we met at LAHA Memorial Park, and I hit up everybody in my contact list, everybody in my phone. I said, yo, we're meeting here at LAHA Memorial Park, dressed in black, and we're gonna run in the Mid-City neighborhood. And
just through text message.
Just through text message. I made a flyer. It was like walk good, run good. And I put like design this flyer on like Canva or something. I sent it out to everybody. And word got out and people put it on these social media bulletins. And I remember seeing about 400, 500 people in that park, and people had donated speakers. And my cousin Marley, she just got let go from a yoga studio. I was like, Marley, come do some like yoga stretches, some like meditation. And I wasn't doing yoga at the time. Like I wasn't even doing meditation.
Okay.
Like I wasn't into that. I was just gonna be an actor and a filmmaker. I thought I was going to like sell a TV show, and then COVID happened, and it kind of really reshaped how I viewed wellness and mindfulness in that moment. When I saw everybody, taking big inhales and exhales and doing these yoga postures, I was like, oh no, we could do this every week. And I'll be honest, I often don't talk about this part, but while there were 500 people in that park, I knew that we were doing something special when Karuchi was there. When I saw Karuchi, I was like, oh,
she popped out.
Yeah, Karuchi. Shout out to Karuchi, Aaron, Genesis, the whole crew.
Damn.
Yeah, no, when they pulled up, when they pulled up, I was like,
oh. You didn't know him.
I mean, well, I've known her team, like Aaron and Genesis. I've known since.
For her to pop out is crazy.
Yeah, and like I've seen Karuchi at like events and whatnot, but like when she showed love, like she was like the first person of influence to show up to a WalkGood event, and I was like, oh, we got something.
Did she know that?
Yeah, she knows that. She knows that. Like she's actually been like mad cool and like a big supporter ever since like she's really our day one.
Yeah.
But after that, we started to do the yoga classes on Sunday. And, you know, after that, people didn't want to protest anymore. So the protest started to dwindle, but we did the protest 10 weeks straight. We did the protest on Saturday, and we did the yoga class on Sunday in the park. And we had like 35 people at the first one. And 35 turned to 50, 50 turned to 100, 100 turned to 200. Bro, going into 2021, we came back into the new year and we had like legit like 500, 600 people in the park doing yoga, black and brown people in the park. And so then we started to really strategize. My sister, Ivy Coco, who's our VP of marketing, and my cousin, Marley, she's our VP of health and wellness. They're my co-founders. And we really started to build these programs. Then we started to add more people onto our team. So we're a team of 5. So it's myself, Ivy, Marley, Jay, and Kavi. And Jay, he's my right hand with my WalkGood Productions. And his brother Kavi, he takes all of our photos. And so he's like our creative strategist. Yeah. And so it's really the 5 of us really building programs. We started, Breathe Good was the first yoga class.
Okay.
Then Run Good is our run club. We have Hike Good, which is our hike club. We have You Good, which is our Black Men's Healing Circle.
Yeah.
You're gonna pop out.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out.
You need some healing.
Yeah.
We got Film Good, which is the only film and wellness festival ever.
Did you say all of them? There's another one.
No, there's
my favorite. Laugh Good.
Laugh Good. Oh, yeah, you put with the Laugh Good. That's right.
I love comedy. I love comedy.
Comedy show. Yeah, you came on James Davis.
Yeah. James Davis, my guy. So hell yeah.
That's the homie. Shout out to James Davis.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like to your point, like what we were building couldn't just be on social media. Like we had to show up in community. And, here we are 5 years later with the help of Michael B. Jordan and Propel Fitness Water. We now have our own studio, the WalkGood Yard, where we host all of our wellness and community programs right in the city, in my neighborhood, in Mid-City, right off the corner of Pico and Norton.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility too.
Thank you, man.
This your first getting a building and
first time building a business. We started this conversation talking about the yard, and every day I'm always pinching myself because I never thought that this was possible. Because like I said, I really thought that my life was just going to be film and TV. And through service, through building this nonprofit that is WalkGood, has brought me back to my life's work, which is film and TV. Because now I'm a legit actor. You know?
Yeah. I was watching some stuff earlier today. I was like, yo, he's pretty good at this. Like,
thank you.
You're really good. You're actually good. Yeah.
I appreciate it. So I always tell people, if you really want to not just a successful life, but a purposeful life, focus on service to your community. And
I love it.
Come back.
I love it. I do have a quote.
Okay.
And this is actually one of my favorite quotes. But I feel like you probably embody it. I'm trying to embody it, but you embody this quote a lot. And it says, "The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he's always doing both."
Wow.
And when I look at you...
Wait, who said that?
I don't know. And
Come on.
I knew I had it. Hold on. I got it. I'm going to show you right now. Hey, I was reading. I forgot to put it on the art of living. This is actually one of my favorite quotes for
That's
sure.
a beautiful quote.
Yeah.
Now we need to find out who said it.
Art of living quote. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is how we do at Scottie and Friends. It's real unorthodox. You know what I'm saying? What's this dude's name?
Scottie, bro, you funny.
What's his name?
Funny.
His name,
as he scrolls.
Yeah, his name is.
Gotta cite the source.
Yeah, you always got. I'm glad you asked that. What is this dude's name? Let me see. What is another artist? It's dude. Don't do that. His name is James Michener. That's his name.
James Michener.
Yeah, or Michener probably a little bit better. Yeah, James Michener.
Sounds like a white man.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
But,
for that quote. That's a beautiful quote.
Yeah, it's a beautiful quote, man. But when I see you, because okay, bro, it's like, dude, I'm seeing you acting, then you're doing your comedy shows, and then it's like I look on the gram, you're like carrying boxes to people's house, burned down, and it's like, and then every time I see you, your spirit is the ultimate high. And so I guess my question is, are you having fun, or is this heavy work for you?
This is me. This is literally who I've been since I was a child. My mom will tell you that.
Yeah.
I've always been the person, show up in the space. How can I help? Mm-hmm. What can I do? I'm always smiling. Mm-hmm. Like, I like to do things with a smile. Like, I can't, unless I'm like really focused, then you might see like the not so happy Etienne. Mm-hmm. But everything that I do, bro, I do it with joy. Like, I can honestly say that from the bottom of my heart. And my mom, she describes it perfectly. She says, my sister, she's the person, if somebody were to get into an accident, mm-hmm. she would see the person from afar and be like, I'm on the phone with 911.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Don't bleed on me.
Yeah.
Right? She describes me as the person who will go to the person, carry that person in their arms, be like, it's okay. 911 is coming. I got you. Yeah. It's going to be all right. And funny enough, that's actually happened to me before. And that's just like who I am. That's...
What happened? Like they got in the car, you just...
when I was in middle school, there was an accident.
Middle school?
Yeah, bro, middle school. I went to school. I've never talked about this ever publicly. But in middle school, it was a turning point. I was in the 7th grade. Mm-hmm. We were walking back. We were leaving PE, and PE was in the park, some park in Culver City. And as we were walking back to the school, we were walking on the sidewalk. And something just told me to just like run ahead with my friends. And as I turned around, a car had swerved into my teacher and about 5 or 6 of my friends, and actually killed my teacher, Coach Phillips. That was like my first traumatic experience. It was really, 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 really bad. And my instinct was to just run back and see who needed help. And Shannon Sullivan, I had her in my arms, and she was telling me, her legs were all jacked up. She was looking at me. She's like, Etienne, I'm scared. Like, I need my parents. And yeah, bro. It was the Ides of March. I'll never forget it. Damn. March 15th. Yeah, it was like I was taking Latin at the time, mm-hmm. and the lesson was talking about, the Ides of March. I guess that was like the day Caesar was born or died. Mm-hmm. Julius Caesar, I forget. But yeah, that's the type of person I am, man. Anybody who needs help, I'm always going to be there as best I can.
And do those moments, obviously this is going to sound crazy, for the lack of better terminology, do those moments...
Come on, use that Morehouse degree. Come on, man.
Do you being able to show up for people, does that energize you? Is that what keeps you going?
Yes. It does.
Got it.
I actually talked about this the other day too with my wife. I said, we were doing, we host You Good, a Black Men's Healing Circle.
Which I need to go to. I need help.
And when I see these Black men being vulnerable and just sharing their deepest parts of themselves and finding connection amongst other Black men, that's what gives me joy. Like, when I see people having fun and enjoying the experiences that my team and I are building, it just keeps me looking forward to the next day, because I know that it's working, and I see it's instant gratification for me because I'm seeing it happen in real time.
Yeah,
feeding off of people's energy from the experience that we're offering, and that's consistent with every WalkGood programming.
Damn, that's so many places I want to take it. I'll leave the business aspect to after.
Okay.
What do you think? Because I talk to my older brother a lot. Like I feel like black men, we don't really have we don't have that too many spaces where we can feel like we can go and feel heard or seen, or
Out of the barbershop.
But yes, and even worse than that, like we're not always able to authentically like just pour out. You know what I mean? And so, what do you think about your programs? What is it that allows them to just spew that out? I've never been, so I don't even know what it.
I think it's the safeness, right? I mean, even when you step foot into the WalkGood yard, when you went to the comedy show, right?
Yeah.
You walk in, how do you feel?
It's safe.
Yeah.
it's community. It's a vibe. Yeah,
exactly.
And it's so crazy you say that, bro. Even down to how the place smells. I swear to God, everything is like encompassing of us for sure.
That's all intentional, and I think that's what it comes down to is the intention, our why. Why do we do what we do? What is our purpose behind what we do? And I always am. Me and my cousin Marley and Ivy and even our studio manager T, we take pride and care in how the space is taken care of energetically. 'Cause sometimes you'll walk into a space and you'll be like, nah, this don't feel right. They're not treating me kind.
Yeah.
They don't feel genuine. But we're intentional about the people who we hire at WalkGood, people who are instructors. We have a good pulse on if their energy is right, we want them a part of the WalkGood family. And that's really what WalkGood is family.
Yeah.
Like that's one of our founding principles. WalkGood is actually a Jamaican saying that my grandmother always told me. She'd be like, "Walk good, Etienne." It's a Jamaican euphemism, meaning like take care of yourself, be good to yourself when you're out there. Have a good journey when you're out there on the road. It's just like a person wishing you well on your endeavors. And that always stuck with me. And so at WalkGood's foundation, it's about family. And so I'm glad that people like yourself, come into any WalkGood programming and they feel that they belong. And I don't think there are too many places in Los Angeles that give that feeling. But it comes from a real, genuine, honest place.
Yeah. Do you think
Thank you.
How does it
Water, Scott. Water.
I have drank.
Throw this out.
I have drank.
Let's get another water.
Okay.
Another water for Scott.
Let's take a good moment. This is what you call good friends. He literally took my Red Bull and threw it away. That's called good friends. Good friends don't just tell you; they're gonna push you into action. I appreciate that.
That's right.
And I don't know if they caught him. Did they catch him in the beginning? I'm definitely done with Red Bull. So, Red Bull, you probably weren't thinking about sponsoring me, but if you were, yeah, you need some Propel. What is this trash you got? We need some Propel, bro. I'm joking. You're gonna get hot. Okay, so take it back. Was there a learning curve in terms of the leadership aspect of building out WalkGood? Yeah, walk me through, because it's like you don't just. All right, so I'm reading this book called "Build a Business You Love" by Dave Ramsey. There's like 5-6 different stages of business.
You know what I love? You have several references to the research that you have been reading up on.
Yes.
Not a lot of people who do podcasts nowadays are researching and reading, let alone reading books. So I applaud.
I appreciate that.
I applaud.
I gotta give Tally my co-host on our other show, because she was on me a little bit. Because I used to walk in here and just run and gun it. You know what I mean? So
can't do that.
Now I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. And I realize that's what sets you apart.
Sets you apart
in the space, yes, and I have to realize that. But there's a second part of the building your business. And in that phase, it's like you go from doing everything yourself to having a team. But then you may get to that spot in your team where you got to learn how to delegate and deal with these people and manage and, build up that foundation. What have been some of those like learning curves for you as you built your team? I feel like you went kind of, I don't want to say you went fast, but it seems like you went fast.
I think we were just doing a lot. Like, think about it, bro. We were doing yoga classes every Sunday for like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, yeah, we had like winter break. We would take January off.
What is that? 104 weeks straight.
I can't even keep count. I cannot keep count. We've done so many yoga classes in the park. We've done so many breathe goods in the park. And it got to a point where it was really, really draining. So once the yard was built, so what? That's 3 years 3 years into it. Now we had to just do breathe good once a month, and so that was a big adjustment in preserving our energy and preserving our bandwidth. Because like I said, we're a team of 5. We have independent contractors,
vendors, stuff like
that. But that was really hard to delegate for me, especially.
What you mean? What part of like
just like paperwork.
Oh, I hate
emails.
Yeah.
I'm still falling behind on emails. Thank God I have an assistant now. But when I didn't, I was missing opportunities, missing meetings, and it was making not only myself look bad, but it was making the business look bad. So, I really began to open myself up to help. So Jay and Kavi, they really have been holding it down. Jay, he's like my right hand. He's our director of operations, and he just makes sure that our partnerships are intact. The paperwork is filed, and then his brother Kavi, he takes all of our photos, but he's more than that. He really helps us operationally, just making sure that the right pages are up so that people can RSVP and sign up. And, I'll be honest, at the beginning of WalkGood, I was a real asshole. Like, I was,
real?
Yeah, man.
What you mean?
Because, like, listen, because it's Scottie and friends, I could be honest
Let's
with you.
go, yes.
Is it a safe space?
Yes, it's a safe space.
Bro, I was really just not the nicest to my cousin and my sister and just my team, just because I felt like I was right all the time. And I could honestly look back and say that was just a wrong way of approaching.
So you weren't wrong, but it was the wrong way of going.
Everybody else was wrong.
I went about it wrong, though. I just went about it wrong.
I went about it completely wrong. And it made me, like, even diving deeper into my mindfulness practice, I got my yoga certification, a year into WalkGood at the Tree Co-op, which is actually a yoga studio in South Central. And that really just changed my whole perspective on leadership and care. And I felt like I was just disregarding my cousin and my sister's inputs into how they can make WalkGood better. And I'll be honest, like, my cousin Marley, she's like the yoga guru of our family. She's the one who really inspired me to even be a yoga instructor. And there aren't that many Black men in the wellness space, and I'm one of very few. But there are some of us out there, but it's not like
I don't know any, honestly. Yeah, it's safe to say it.
There are a lot of them, but like it's few and far in between. I'll say that. But I say all that to say is it really taught me how to take care of your team and make them feel like they are of value. But before you make sure that they feel of value, you have to value yourself. And I think that I was so focused on, WalkGood being the cool community organization, but I wasn't making sure that home was taken care of. And even till today, man, like, sometimes I have to hold my tongue, because sometimes if your teammates feel passionately about how they can make your project better, why not just try? Just try it out. And if it doesn't work, then you try your way. But if you have teams that want to see you do better, you should honor that, and that's something that I'm constantly working on.
Okay, good to know. Because I feel like that, even there's so many things I feel like I won't say held me back, because I don't think I'm held back in any way. I think I don't move as fast as I could. And I think some of that is because you said, like, even now, like,
well, if you want to go fast, go alone.
Yeah, if you want to, exactly, you want to go far.
If you want to go far, you go
100%.
together.
But I think I'm kind of extreme. So I went from like, I could do it hard nose, pushing. And then when
sustainable, bro.
But then when I got people on the team, I think now I'm kind of suffering from like, well, you just do it and you got it. I'm gonna just let you do whatever. And I'm completely hands off. And I feel like
you can't be completely hands off, right? You still have to advise.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
You still have to be like the person to be like, well, maybe you could do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to give people options.
Do it more efficiently.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like even in yoga, for instance, like I always give my class the opportunity to try it differently. There are options and way to do this pose. You know, I think a lot of times people have this this misconceived notion that it has to be this way.
Yeah.
But you have to, in order to make it accessible, you have to give them options.
We did. We was at Kenneth Hahn. I think it was something with like one knee in the air, and then all I heard was this man say, "If you're in the beginning, you can put your other knee down." Thank God, because I was up there and I'm like, I look pretty fit, bro, but like that yoga it's not.
It's all about the breath.
Oh, man.
It's all about the breath. We were talking about people who we listen to in their podcast, or somebody who I listen to often. His name is Jay Shetty.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Shetty. He talks about the importance of breath. He was saying how he went to this Buddhist monastery, and these kids were teaching mindfulness, and this kid said something very profound. He asked Jay, what's the first thing that we do when we come into this world? Breathe. Yeah. What's the last thing we do when we leave this world?
Breathe. Exactly. That's the first and last thing you ever gonna do. That's
first and last thing you will ever do in this life. So while you're on this earth, why not learn how to use your breath more effectively? And I mean, it's the one thing that's constant in our lives. When we're angry, you start breathing hard. When you're frustrated, anxious, you start breathing super fast, right? But when you're calm, you're more relaxed. Breathe nice and slow, And I think being able to have control of your breath and learn to regulate your nervous system, that's a superpower that a lot of us just don't take advantage of. So I always remind people, yoga is not about the postures. It is not about the postures. It's about your ability to breathe fully within your body.
Okay. Can you show me how to breathe correctly?
I mean,
is there a way? Because I hear people say that. Like,
here's.
So do you take like?
So you take here's the full breath.
Even now, though, like in this moment.
So I'll give you an example. There's something called the box breath, right? And you got to think of it like a box. Okay. So we're gonna inhale 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. That's box breath.
And what does that do? Like it
So it calms your nervous system. So don't you feel way more relaxed just doing that simple exercise?
Yeah. Can't feel my toes. It was light. Like, oh shit.
And I think it's just one of those things when we're caught in these real tense environments, or we're put to task, a lot of us just forget to breathe, And I'm telling you, it helps maintain focus, and it helps you just make clear choices.
Bro, I 100% agree. And it's so crazy because I find myself, and I'm trying my hardest to get out of it. And I think we're getting there. I probably got a couple more months.
Give yourself grace, bro. Give yourself grace.
Yeah, but what I've been experiencing lately, and I realize I've been experiencing a long time, like my life is like I'm super high, and then I'm like, I'm going, and I hit a brick wall, and then I crash. And then it's like, all right, I'm on my back, I'm dead for like 3 days, and then I come back up, I'm super high, I'm running, deal closing that. But I realize when I'm at this peak, it's like a flow state. Like deals come, things come, and I'm clear.
Manifesting.
Yeah.
You're attracting.
And then I hit that brick wall again. So now I'm learning like, okay, like I have to find that equilibrium you know what I mean? And not just the controlled substance of like, you walk in the room and you feel like you just, bro, I look at you and I'm like, and then granted, there's probably some shit going on, but I'm like, shit's under control for the most part. For the most part.
I saw somebody, they posted something, they said, majority of successful people that you see, you don't see the dark shit that they had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really had to go through some like really difficult times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like WalkGood legit saved my life. Like,
is this the story? There's a story. You don't have to talk about it. I know
no, we can talk about it. I mean, I talk about it honestly and openly. But you know, about 11 years ago, I was living really wild and reckless.
Yeah.
I went to Drexel University in Philadelphia, and I was wilding, man. 21 years old, smoking, drinking, just like any other college student would. But I was always doing it to the excess. You know, years later, I could reflect on what I was going through. I just lost my grandfather. And that was the first time I had dealt with loss so close to me that I started to develop these bad habits. And I started to cope in negative ways, smoking, drinking. And not just smoking and drinking, but smoking and drinking to the excess. You know, like when you see your boy, your homegirl, and they just doing too much, that was me. And this one night, I was taking my homegirl out to winter formal, and we go back to the homie's house, and we smoke, and we drink a little bit more, and we pass out on the couch. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I gotta drop the homegirl off at her house, and I gotta get back home because I got work. I gotta shoot the next day. Drop her off. I start driving down the 76 highway, 76 West, and I fell asleep at the wheel. After getting off the exit, fell asleep at the wheel, drove my car into a tree, car flipped over, had a brain injury, had microscopic hemorrhaging in my brain. Yeah, I went to
shit.
Yeah, man. They sent me to the holding cell that next day. Spent the night in the holding cell, and my head was like the size of a football. Yo, I literally looked like Hey Arnold, like the black Hey Arnold for real.
Damn,
real broken blood vessel. And I went back home because it was winter break. So I went back home, and everybody was saying like, "Yo, man, Etienne is not right. Like he's just like that boy is on something." Like everybody thought I was on coke. They thought I was mollied out because at that time like Molly was just becoming like a big thing. Like Trinidad James just came out with that song about the Molly on sweating, right? Yeah. And so everybody thought like Etienne, you should go get some help. But at the time, I don't even know. I'm completely out of my mind. You know, because of the bleeding on my brain, I was legit manic. I was like, for lack of a better word, I had lost my mind and I could not find it. And one day my mom was like, Etienne, we're gonna go get some help. And I told my mom, I said, if someone was feeling the way I'm feeling right now, I could understand why they would want to kill themselves. And when I told my mom that, she was like, all right, we're going to the ER. Went to the ER, and I had to go to the psych ward involuntarily. So I was placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold. They had to do, mental evaluation on me, and they put me on this medication that was really bad, like lithium, actually. And I had really bad side effects. And, by the grace of God, bro, and the prayer of my grandmother, I speak about my grandmother a lot. I speak about my mom and my uncle and my stepfather and my father. Like, they really, really held me down during that time and made sure that I was on a better path. And I had to take leave of absence from school. And I was really, really self-conscious about that because I wanted to graduate on time. But where my mental state was, I wasn't able to do it as efficiently as I could have. And I took leave of absence, went back to school. Doctor was like, Etienne, do not smoke or drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really bad if you do it. Like, you're going to damage your brain even more. Go back to school. What does Etienne do? Start smoking and drinking. Because now it's like, it's the peer pressure. All my friends are smoking and drinking.
For sure.
You know, I tried to tell them, like, nah, man, I'm not smoking or drinking. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to drink.
Get this blunt.
Yeah, give him the blunt. Shut up. Like,
yeah.
But that was also at that time, and again, because of my mindfulness practice, I could really reflect on those times from through a different lens. And it made me realize that if you tell your homie that you don't want to do this anymore, and they still pressure you to do it, that's not your homie.
For sure.
That's not your bro. That's not your friend. If you can honestly say, this is something I want to stop doing, they would encourage you and they would help you and protect you from anything close to weed or alcohol. They wouldn't even put it in front of you. And so during that time, I just said, fuck it. And went to a party. Now this is November 9th, 2013. The DUI happened December 13th, 2012. So now this is 11 months apart, right? And ironically, this is my first year to be able to legally drink. November 9th, 2013, I go to a party with some friends. I remember the last drink I took. It was a Fireball shot.
Ooh.
The rest of that night, couldn't even tell you what happened. What ended up happening was I woke up the next morning in the hospital, University of Pennsylvania Hospital. They had told me I had been shot twice in my leg, grazed bullet above my eyebrow. I later found out that
I can see the scar too.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I was robbed from my iPhone and my wallet by a father and a son. Yeah, and the only reason why they found these guys was because they had a lookout. The man was across the street when they was trying to jack me for my iPhone and my wallet, and he was trying to catch a plea deal. And so he said, "Yo, you remember that kid on 52nd and Delancey in West Philly who got robbed for his phone? I got all the info on that." So I had to go back like a couple of years, like a year or two later, and testify. And I saw the surveillance footage, and the surveillance footage actually had audio. So you could hear me getting shot at. All you hear is pop, 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 pop. And then you start to see me come across the camera. And I'm little like, I'm holding my leg and I'm saying, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I get in the middle of the street and this off-duty taxi cab driver, he stops. Get on the hood of his car. I said, please help me. I've been shot in my head. Not even realizing I've really been shot in my leg.
You probably
There's
felt
so
the
much
burn.
blood coming down my face. And the driver gets out of the cab, looks around, picks me up, put me in his cab, took me to the nearest hospital. That hospital didn't have a trauma center. They transferred me to University of Pennsylvania Hospital. And they had to do emergency surgery on my leg. And had I not gone back to that hospital, they would have had to amputate my leg. Yeah, because they had discharged me because to them, I was just a young black kid who just got shot in the hood.
Yeah.
They didn't know who my family was, so they just let me go. And I was too afraid to even tell my mom that I gotten shot. So
bro.
I know they let
you
they
have
put me in
a different life right now.
I know.
What?
I called my sister. I said, Coco, don't tell mommy, but I got shot. And of course, my sister called my mother. And
of course, thank you, God. please.
They took me to a cab, and they put me in a cab. They took me to my homie's crib who I was with that night before. And then that's when my mom and my dad, they met me. But they saw me, and they were like, no, we got to go back to the hospital because you're obviously jacked up.
Yeah.
So we went back to the hospital with my parents, with my stepdad.
Got some shit cracking. Right.
And then they were like, no, we have to go get emergency surgery. So they cut open my leg, stitched me up, and was able to save me. Now I can walk good.
Yeah,
So that's really like I know I gave a long story about, what I have gone through, but that's really the work that you see in Walk Good. It's because, when I was going through that, I didn't have a space like Walk Good. I didn't have a
Right.
community to really talk through my emotions or talk about my traumas in a safe space. And so, really, with Walk Good, we really want to build a community where people can come and just feel welcome and just where they can be and just be their authentic self and to feel safe, seen and heard.
If there was because you mentioned something, you're like, yo, if I how I'm feeling right now, I could see why someone would take their life. So in that moment, if there was a Walk Good that you could go to, what is it that you would express that you had been feeling? What is it that you feel like you needed to get out that you couldn't?
To be honest, I don't know. At that time, I didn't have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally I wasn't in my right mind.
Got
But I knew that something wasn't
Mhm.
right within me, Even after going to the psych ward, I felt like some type of treatment that involved community I felt would have helped, but I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I was left to my own devices. My mom had to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at home by myself. I wasn't going to school.
Yeah.
I would take a couple of classes at LACC, and that helped me get back into the swing of things societally. But there was no Walk Good where I could just like go for a run with a run
Community.
club with community.
Yeah.
Like I feel like had I had that, I wouldn't have felt as depressed
For sure.
while I was trying to rebuild myself. I probably wouldn't have started smoking or drinking again after the DUI had I had a Walk Good, So I think that's something that would, and thank you for asking that question because nobody's ever asked that to me before because, I really did need community at that time. And I probably wouldn't have made the choices I made had I had a community.
That stretch that 11-month stretch, was that God?
That was God. That was the prayers of Ivy Ralph. That was the prayers of Ivy Maurice. It was the prayers of Shirley Ralph.
Mhm.
It was the prayers of my family, yo.
Bro,
It was.
why do you think God, or like, why is life? I'm asking you, like, you could call him up. Like, hey.
God, why?
But like, yeah, bro, like, why is it all through the pain? Like, why is like through, bro, like every struggle has taught me so much more. But it's like,
But that's life, bro.
why?
You got to experience pain to avoid suffering. You got to experience the pain to move past the suffering. Think about it. Like I was just listening to this podcast with Trevor Noah. He was him and his boy was talking about how animals, they are the best ones to know about pain and suffering. Because when you think about hibernation, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to move from one place to another
Mm-hmm.
to avoid discomfort, to avoid suffering. It's painful to have to get up all your stuff or take yourself to a whole nother location to find safety.
But you think about that. You think about salmon, how they go upstream, fight the rocks, got to get past the bears just to get to a space to lay eggs comfortably. But they beat, yeah. Okay.
Man, you was a good student. Come on now. Use that Morehouse education. I love that.
Oh, man.
It's facts. It's facts. You got to go through it.
Yeah.
And you also talked about, finding that like an even balanced life.
Mm-hmm.
We could work towards a balanced life, but life is up and down.
Yeah, sure.
Yo, it's a current.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a high tide. It could be a low tide. It's like, think of it like a EKG, right?
Mm-hmm. What is that?
An EKG is like, it monitors your
the
heart.
Okay.
Or like, whether you're alive or not, right? So think about it. It goes up and down, right? When you flatline, what are you?
Are you cooked? You're done.
You're dead.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have the waves to ride just means that you're alive. And we should be grateful for that.
I love it. Let's transition to talk about the acting and the
I'm in my bag right now.
Yeah, you in your bag.
I love this. I feel so comfortable with you, bro. I wish my more
For real?
podcast interviews were like this.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, honest to God, like, I've done a lot of podcasts, but I've been very excited to do this one with you.
I appreciate it. I've been excited to have you. It's like timing is everything. Time is huge. So I feel like it was the perfect time. And I'm excited for it. I've been saying it because we just brought Scottie and Friends back. This episode 3, we're back, right? First one I did a rapper. Shout out Leaky.
Okay.
Hood rapper. But I already knew in my mind.
You knew what you were signing up
for.
Yeah,
Leaky, I love you. He know, it's my little bro. But he like, yo, he's like, can we smoke up there? And I knew like, I was like, this isn't where I want to go.
It's not the direction I want to take.
Yeah, this is not where I want to go. Like, I definitely want to have fun. I want to be like,
attention.
Yeah, I want to be a lot more wild. But I'm like, I have been through enough ups and downs to realize like, I can kind of add my mix and do a little bit more of the Jay Shetty, if you will, but add my flair to it. And so
you're doing a great job, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. But no, talk to me about the acting stuff. So like, where is it that you want to take it?
Bro, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to act professionally.
For sure.
I was always auditioning, and my mother is Sheryl Lee Ralph.
Yeah.
And I've always been I've always been inspired by what my mom has accomplished in her life. But I never wanted anybody to say, oh man, he just got that role because of his mom. I never want anybody to say that. That's why I really chose the mindfulness route, and it brought me back to the acting route. You feel me? Like, I think being able to really focus on myself as an activist, as a community organizer, like just to live my life away from TV and film allowed me to come back and do it to the best of my ability. Because I see some of what I've done, and I've seen some of the work that I've done independently, like when I was in my 20s and when I was in college. And I look at what I've accomplished now with the Christmas movie that I just did on HBO Max. Thank you, Mistletoe and Matrimony. And I look at me as an actor. I'm like, I'm so much better than when I was doing these projects back then. Like because I lived my life, I was able to step away and actually do something that wasn't connected to TV and film, that allowed me to just pull from different parts of my life that feel real and feel honest. And I just shot my second movie with HBO Max. Literally just got back from Toronto.
Can you say what it is?
It's called, I can't say it yet. Okay. I can't say it yet. I will, but you gonna find out. Christmas. Now I'm like Christmas King now. So,
it's another Christmas joint.
Another Christmas joint. And then it's also with a really dope actress too. Really, 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 really.
Who do you? You get noticed more for like the WalkGood stuff.
Yeah, okay. I am Mr. WalkGood.
Gotcha.
I'm the yoga guy. But I don't mind that.
When you out there, be like, you the yoga guy? Like,
yeah, bro. You the yoga guy.
Dope.
You walk good. I get that everywhere in the city. Because, you and I, we be outside. Like,
yeah, I don't get that. They be like, you not from LA. like, what the fuck? I'm like, how did I get here in my life, bro? But whatever.
We accept it.
Yeah, you got to accept it, man. We can trade, though. Anytime you want, we can trade.
But here's the thing. Like, we're building something that we're recognized for. And a lot of people can't say that.
Yeah,
a lot of people can't say that. We're building something that we built on our... This is our babies. Like, suburban LA is your baby. Walking LA is my baby.
Yeah.
And to watch that baby grow and people actually care and nurture that and support that, that's a beautiful thing.
Wait, so when did you get to the point where you felt, because you're like, yo, I was super mean. When did you get grateful?
When did I get grateful?
Or maybe were you always grateful? Or?
Always grateful.
Okay.
I was always grateful. Okay. I mean, the fact that we're alive here, being able to talk on these mics in front of an audience, millions of people will be able to see this on the World Wide Web, man, that's something to be grateful for. And that's really what takes me out of depression, to be able to consciously think and be aware of all the things that you should be grateful for. The fact that we're able to breathe. A lot of people we know, a lot of people we used to know can't breathe no more. They're gone. We are here.
Have you trained yourself to think? So there's a girl, her name, shout out Chloe McConney. She owns Castellana.
Okay.
You guys kind of give me that same, like, you throw it and it's like a positive spin on it no matter what.
I'm always looking at the glass half full, never half empty.
But to that, you did you have to? I feel like I have to train myself to be that way, and that's why I'm at. Because I'm not always that. And sometimes the other day, I'm like, bro, I swear to God, bro, I promise you, this is got to keep it real with my people. For so long, I've always wanted to break the generational curse of being poor. I've put myself in a position to where like.
Wait, can I pause you right there?
Yes.
My cousin Marley just told me this.
Go.
She said, if trauma, if a curse can be generational, so can healing.
That's fire.
If
That's
curse can be generational,
so can healing.
So yeah, okay, continue.
No, that's fire. And to that, I've always been focused on that, and I put myself in a position to where, like, again, not the richest person, but I can get money fairly easily, and I found myself. Yes, legally. Don't play. Solomon, cut that out. No, legally. And got a decent check. And I remember I was just like, fuck, it's not enough zeros, da da da. And I had to check myself, like, hey, yo, like, bro, when you first started, like, if you would have never, like, so I'm like, bro, and I had to check myself, like, yo, you got to be grateful, bro. Be thankful. Like, how can I sit up here with 100-something thousand followers, whatever it is, people know who I am, and it's like, you're still not grateful? And so I had to check myself, but that's why I'm always looking at people like yourself or Chloe. I'm like, damn, like, how do you just remain in a state of gratefulness? You know what I mean?
I have parents have always been.
He like, nigga, just do it.
Just do it, bro. Like, literally, that's all it is. Like, I've had my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. Like, I have family that have always encouraged me to put my best foot forward. And, you know, at some point, it just gets ingrained in you. And I really took it to heart, you know? And through all the things that I've been through, how could I not be grateful for the life that I've been given, man? Because it could honestly be taken away from me several times. I told you 3 instances of where I almost could have lost my life.
In like an 11th month span.
You know?
Facts.
So the fact that I'm here, like, how can I not be grateful?
But you said it, though. And I think it was your cousin who said it. If trauma can be generational, so can healing. And you think about it, how trauma compounds, but it's like you reverse it, and now healing is compounded. You know what I'm saying? And you're just compounding.
You start thinking more positively. I think right now we're just inundated with a bunch of negative media.
Facts.
And I just can't live my life that way, man. I can't live my life that I could honestly say that, you know, I forgive the people who shot me. I forgive the person who ran up on me. Because there's one thing my grandmother always told me. She said, how could one learn without a teacher? That young man who robbed you with his father, they didn't have a teacher. They didn't have anybody to guide them, lead them towards a positive path, towards a righteous path.
They had a teacher to teach them to do the other way.
Opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can't be mad. And holding on to that negative energy, holding on to that anger does nothing for anybody.
I assume you go to therapy?
Yeah, I go to therapy. But I had to find the right therapist. You know, I even go to a couples therapy too.
You are like a good. Yeah. How old are you?
33.
You are a great.
How old are you?
29. So I got there's hope.
Bro, you light years ahead. Look what you're doing at 29, bro.
Hope. No, bro, but no, honestly, I thought you were like a little closer to me, a little closer. But
how did you think I was?
I thought you were gonna say like probably like 29, 30.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You heard that, right?
29,
30.
Stop it, dude. He look at Dave.
Okay, I'll take
it. Listen, guys. I know my producer. Simon, put your face on him. You're whooped. You're tired. How many sessions did you have today? You're tired today.
Oh, no, I'm all right.
I know you, bro. He's tired.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Okay, I have. Damn, what was I gonna say?
Besides, he's young.
Who's young?
You thought that I was young. You asked me if I was.
Yeah. Well, I'm at that. I got another place I'm taking. Then we have an LA segment. We're gonna do this or that. I gotta have.
That's the one I was waiting for.
Yeah. But no, I just genuinely, bro. Like, I just giving you your flowers. Like, you are a great representation of like what young Black men need to see, bro. So just continue to keep being that. Like, honestly, like when I look at it, even like how I'm like continue to mold my image and that's what I want to talk about, like imagery. Like, how important is that? Like, to make sure you're putting out that right imagery and not doing some of the things that maybe not. And I say that because I've gotten here, and it won't take me to the next level, but I've gotten here just by thinking like, yo, being super raw and authentic and a little bit gritty is the way. Now I'm kind of like realizing like, okay, like sometimes you can't just say whatever you
Not, bro. There are consequences,
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
My mom always told me. My mom always told me you can make a good choice, you can make a bad choice, but whatever choice you make, there's consequences that come with it, bro.
Yeah.
And what consequence do you want? And
Yeah.
I do not want a bad consequence.
Yeah.
I do not want that at all.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like, oh, like I could just kind of like, I don't know. I thought like you could just, I thought people would want.
No.
And then I feel like I started to become like a character.
But think about
caricature.
But you just said it though. Who's really being amplified, especially black men, for being positive?
Right.
Very few and far in between.
Very few and far in between.
You are smart,
Yeah.
intellectual, college-educated black man using his platform for good, of service to his community.
Yeah.
There needs to be more of that.
Need to be more. Yeah.
'Cause we the leaders in the new school, bro.
Yeah.
People are looking up to us, and there are people who support us and want to see us do well in this life, because black men are struggling.
Yeah.
We are struggling, and there's a way out.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us are so conditioned to think that there is no way out, and we start running in this circle and feeling like we can't do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a whole nother conversation. That's racism, that's capitalism. It's done a whole number on us.
How do you feel capitalism has
Man, there would be no capitalism if it wasn't for racism. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. I like it. Okay. Well, hold on.
All I'm going to say about that. Because, like, again, we've been here talking for 56 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And we'll use up the whole rest of the podcast.
We're gonna do it. All right. I do have some LA-based questions. We'll get into the this or that towards the end. But where can people in LA go to recover mentally and experience the idea of wellness?
They can come to WalkGood.
Mm-hmm.
You can check out Beam, Black Emotional and Mental Wellness Collective. Shout out to YOLO. If you're in Inglewood, you can go to Black Being, amazing wellness studio in Inglewood, right off of Market Street. Actually, last time I saw you on Market Street, I had just come from there. The yoga co-op, the Tree Yoga Co-op. Shout out to Jana, Rita, Ja, an amazing yoga studio, wellness collective in South Central, in the Beehive, in that whole complex area. So check them out. So those are a few off the top of my head that you should check out.
I like it. It's gonna be a good clip.
Yeah.
I think you're a perfect person to answer this. What do you feel like most black men struggle with in LA?
I think the most thing that black men struggle with in LA is the idea that we're not enough. I think a lot of the time we feel like we're not giving enough, like we are not enough. And I do my best to remind black men that you are enough and that you are doing the best you can, but you can go so much farther. And just try and look at life through a different lens, bro. Just try and look at things through a different perspective. It's not all bad. We're resilient people. And once you tap into that resilience, you'll see that there are other options and ways to live a more fruitful, better life. Know that you are enough.
I love it. Okay, and then what's something natives from LA need to do more of?
Natives.
Yeah.
Ooh, damn, this is a touchy one. LA natives need to okay, I'll be real honest.
Yeah.
LA natives need to create more businesses. Stop letting these people not from the city try to create culture that's not theirs. You from the city, you know the city better than anybody else.
Mm.
Build your business. We need it. You see all these foreclosed businesses all up and down Crenshaw, all up and down Florence, all up and down Slauson. Get a loan. Get a business loan. Take a business class. Find your purpose and create a business, whether it's online, whether it's digital, whether it's IRL. You're going to see in the future that more businesses are going to need to be in public and be out in the open. Just find a way, find that balance in the digital world and in the real world. Build your business, Los Angeles natives.
Ooh, well said. Hey, you know how to give a clip. You know what he's doing. He's camera ready. You know what he's doing, bro. Okay. Last segment, this or that. I'm gonna just give you two options. You just pick the one you want to go with.
Okay.
You can give an explanation or not. Don't. It's up to you. Los Angeles Lakers or LA Clippers?
LA Lakers. What are we talking about, my God? I know we suck right now, but I mean, but I'll be honest though. Can I be because I am an Inglewood resident, I'd be kind of and the way I see Harden balling, sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, Clippers, y'all are nice." And have you been to SoFi Stadium?
great.
I mean, not SoFi Stadium. Have you been to Intuit Dome?
It's great. It's great.
Man,
It's great. It's
like
great.
I hate the fact that we got the crypto.
I had this running thing. I'm saying if the Clippers became the Inglewood Clippers, it'd be a little easier for me to support.
It would be. I'm not gonna hold you. That would be fire.
You know what I'm saying? That would be
cool.
like I could get behind that.
I could get behind that. If it was the Inglewood Clippers, sign me up.
I could get behind that.
Sign me up.
Okay. SoFi Stadium or Intuit?
SoFi.
Over Intuit? Okay.
I the only reason why is
SoFi
because
is nice though. It's big. Yeah.
it's fire. It's big.
Yeah.
You about to go see Kendrick? You gonna see Kendrick?
I just hit my plug. These man.
DJ Head, I need my ticket, please.
I just hit my plug. I'm trying to go. Are you going?
I bought my ticket because I can't wait. I can't wait, bro. I just need the security of knowing that I'm gonna see Kendrick on the last day, May 24th.
You want? Oh, I wasn't even gonna. I'll be tripping, and then people hit me, be like, "Are you?" Because people assume we got to be there. So they're like, "I know you gonna be there," and I'm like,
I missed the forum show. I was in Toronto.
Oh yeah, I was at the pop-out.
Bro, I did not go to the pop-out. I wished I was in Toronto. It felt sacrilegious to be in Toronto.
Yeah.
While that was happening. I was so upset.
Yeah. Oh no! Ooh, wait a minute.
I know.
Bro,
I was making money, bro. I was in the movie. My first movie. I was not.
You don't care about that money. You was over there with the ops, paying op taxes. That's crazy.
I know. Till this day.
Oh my God.
It took you a while to. It took you a while to get there. I know. Yeah.
Crenshaw or Dorsey?
Crenshaw.
Fire. Crenshaw mixtape or
and I'm only saying Crenshaw too is because granted I did not go to Crenshaw, but Moesha went to Crenshaw. So Crenshaw.
Okay, there you go. I like that. Crenshaw mixtape or Victory Lap?
Oh, Victory Lap.
I agree.
Victory Lap. This is dedication.
In and Out
plus patience
or Marathon Burger? Bro, keep it. I'll answer for you. I know y'all want us to say Marathon Burger. I gotta go in.
I know you want to say Marathon Burger.
I gotta go In and Out.
Just In and Out. All right, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm not capping.
I'm not alone in that. Okay.
LAX or Burbank Airport?
I hate both.
Really? Where you fly out?
LAX, bro. I live down the street.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Down the street. Yeah. And plus, like flying in and out of Burbank is way too expensive.
It is.
Way too expensive.
Yeah, wait, Etienne, you got it, brother. Hold on, you ain't gonna do that.
Don't do that, bro.
All right, my bad. Roscoe's or Fixins?
Okay. Now, Roscoe's 2000 to 2010. 2000, 2010. Roscoe's had a great run. After that, it all went downhill from there. Now,
Fixins. I like it. All right, last one. This is an easy one. Okay. Erewhon or Simply Wholesome?
Erewhon. What are you talking about? Erewhon. Have you not had their hot plates? What? Don't start with me, Scottie. Come on, bro.
Listen, I'm Erwan too, but for the sake of the clip, they're gonna kill you.
What?
Over Simply Wholesome?
Oh, no. Please,
Folks,
delete that. Delete that.
Folks.
Wait, no.
That's another episode. Scottie.
No. Simply Wholesome. Well, no. You know, because you know what I thought you said?
Yo, Brandon.
Whole Foods.
Yo, Brand,
Whole Foods.
Brand ruined.
No. There's absolutely no way that could be released. No.
I got you.
No. Whole entire time I'm thinking you said Whole Foods. Simply Wholesome.
Okay, yes, there we go. All right, I'm glad
Simply Wholesome for the community.
No, I see it in his eyes. He didn't know. I could see your eyes like, oh shit.
Because I love Erwan. I just did a whole video about Erwan. That's why.
Yeah, Erwan's nuts though.
Erwan's hot plates are amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, because I'll be honest, when I go to Simply Wholesome, I get the patties and their fish sandwiches.
Fire,
amazing. Can't do their smoothies anymore, but
sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
Got it.
Simply Wholesome. Please don't kill me. You know, WalkGood loves Simply Wholesome.
Come on now, they can't take that away. Man, great episode. I appreciate you coming through. If you have any last parting thoughts you want to give to the people, other than that, man, we out.
Can I just say this?
Yeah, go for it.
Shout out to Issa Rae. Shout out to Issa. She is doing the damn thing. If y'all haven't been to any one of her businesses, go support her and AJ, the whole squad, Slauson and Co. They're some of the most inspiring people for LA natives. I always tell people it's interesting how media plays a role in your life and the choices that you make. But I remember when Issa was doing that whole block party on Insecure, I was like, oh, this is a dope concept. Block party, building community. And so I've taken bits and pieces of what I saw from her doing on Insecure to build WalkGood. So I've never said that publicly, but Issa, you know I love you. And thank you for all that you do for the city of LA.
Shout out Issa. Thank you guys. I love y'all. See y'all next week. We out. My brother. Yes.
Simply Wholesome. Oh my God.